He was 6'10" with the skill set of a guard, body of a power forward, swagger, somebody who could drop a bucket on anyone. Coming out of Kansas State, he averaged 26 and 12 as a freshman, the kind of dominance that made him the number 2 pick in the 08 draft behind Derrick Rose. But almost immediately, warning signs started flashing around Michael Beasley. 6 high schools in 5 years, kicked out of rookie NBA camp, rehab by year 2, but still nobody could deny Bees' talent, which kept him in the league for over a decade. Made $50 million, but behind the scenes, something else was unraveling. Not long after he was laughing with LeBron on the bench, Michael Beasley vanished from the league entirely. And when he finally resurfaced, the story he told about living in his car for years was unlike anything we have heard. But now, he has resurfaced and is reinventing how a retired hooper can make money. But how did it get so bad that Michael Beasley had to live in his car for 2 straight years? And how did he get out of that horrible situation to be back on top in a way he's basically inventing himself? But you guys know we made some recent adorable additions to the family, 2 of them to be exact. And there's nothing like that first moment when everything changes. Yo, there is a lot more on the line in life all of a sudden. And that is where today's sponsor, Ethos, comes in, because they're an online platform that makes getting life insurance fast and easy to protect your family's future in minutes, not months. The idea is to make sure that your family is set up in case anything goes wrong. Like I said, that feeling came hard and heavy for me, but I chose to work with Ethos because they have a 4.7 rating on Trustpilot. Thousands of people said, yeah, Ethos is an amazing company to work with. Why? Not complicated, 100% online, no medical exam required. You just answer a few health questions, you get a quote in as little as a few minutes, and you get same-day coverage without ever having to leave your home. And life insurance is a lot more affordable than you think. With Ethos, you can get a free quote and customize a rate that fits your budget. You can get up to $3 million in coverage, some policies as low as $2 a day billed monthly. So protect your family with life insurance from Ethos. Get your free quote at ethos.com/amhoops. That is ethos.com/amhoops. Beasley is from Cheverly, Maryland, right next to Washington, D.C., so he grew up playing ball with Kevin Durant. In fact, the two had basically the same potential growing up. KD, the number 2 prospect in his class, Beasley was ranked number 3. Both go to college, win Big 12 Player of the Year, then both become the number 2 pick in the NBA draft. But Beasley came with some gigantic warning signs. There are few doubts about him becoming a big-time impact talent at the next level, except for attitude, focus, and off-court red flags. And that's not good. But the Miami Heat did what a lot of teams do. They're like, oh yeah, he's in trouble, but he's so talented. If we could just get him in our building, I'm sure we could turn him around, right? Wrong. The NBA's got a camp for rookies to teach them how to stay out of trouble. Well, Bees chose to party with women and set the hotel fire alarm off by smoking weed at 2 a.m. Then before his second season in the NBA, he checks into rehab. Posted worrying things online like, feeling like it's not worth living, I'm done. One headline said, are there any photos of Michael Beasley that aren't potential crime scenes? Which was 100% accurate in year 2. This would be like if Chet Holmgren came to the NBA not long ago, but instead of helping to win a championship, he's like partying with strippers and OKC trades him, which is exactly what the Heat did before year 3. So Beasley told the Timberwolves, I am done getting in trouble. But behind the scenes, things were getting worse. Beasley says right after a game where he blocked Kobe Bryant's shot, he checked his bank account and it said $0. Beasley later said his personal accountant stole everything, which is more common than you'd think in the NBA. But Beasley's story wasn't just about bad luck. It was about cycles. He would have cycles of like promising beginnings followed by chaos. He'd say the right things, teams would believe him because of his talent, and then it would all fall apart. Like in Minnesota, he started off well for almost a full year, kept his nose clean. Until one night, 3 a.m., police pull him over doing 85 and a 65 with 16 grams of weed in the car. The NBA was in a lockout, so technically he had no consequences. But financially, the cracks were showing. He sued his longtime agent, started bouncing around the NBA. The Suns, probably stupidly, gave him an $18 million contract, calling it, hey, a fresh start, and 6 months later regretted everything. He was speeding again, this time no plates, no registration, and a loaded gun in the console. But it was never like one big mistake or scandal for Michael Beasley. It was just like a constant drip of red flags. So by the time he got to the Lakers, Beasley had gone from a big-time prospect to basically a punchline. Everybody remembers the shorts incident when he tried to check in wearing the wrong pair, had to run all the way back to the locker room mid-game. Went viral, everybody laughed. But what nobody knew is his mom had just died, then his cousin passed away that same day of the game. Beasley later said, "The whole world laughed at me. It hurt my feelings, I'm not gonna lie." He was unraveling, but the NBA wasn't gonna wait around anymore. So after the pandemic, the league was done with Michael Beasley. And at the same time, all the other leagues were shut down. So no China, where he played before, dropped 47 points. No Europe, no G League. At 30 years old, all we got were these off-season shirtless videos playing pickup with other cast-offs like John Wall. But he still looked great. In 2021, B showed up shirtless cooking guys, coined the phrase, "I'm him." Before B said this, we had never heard it before. I'm him. I'm him. But the sad part is, right after that actual game there, he would leave the gym and go straight to his car where he slept every single night. So for 2 years, Beasley had no home, no plan, because the money was gone. $50 million, stolen by his own accountant and family.
I was sleeping in my car. Yeah, I was sleeping in my car from 2021, I want to say. And that's why I say, like, I went from crying for help to trying myself. It hurt. But tomorrow came. I couldn't, you understand? I couldn't let the sun beat me.
During all that time, that period, you kept hooping. Why?
Yeah, I kept hooping. Why? Somebody gonna dribble the ball? Why not me?
Well, why not him is what the Big Three League was thinking too. Luckily, Bees was still in shape, because when they called, dude laced up his shoes and was out for revenge. Bees landed on the Miami 305 team, averaged 23-7 with 2 assists, now winning back-to-back MVPs, basically face of that league. Dude was ready. But that's not the only way Michael Beasley's making money on the court in his comeback. Some guys go overseas, but Bees saw another opening perfect for him. He has always been considered one of the best one-on-one players alive. In fact, Tom Habistro reported that during his second stint in Miami, Bees used to beat the best regularly. In practice in Miami, LeBron and Michael Beasley would go at it like one-on-one, and Beasley would beat LeBron all the time. He is so good. Even the guys at Gil's Arena said in their prime stars today would be afraid to challenge 36-year-old Beasley.
There's nobody at his position in the league, ex-league, that will just challenge him.
I bet one of the NBA players won't play him for his job.
Nope. If he said, Rui, hey, let me play you for your job, and I get on that team, they'd be like, yeah, I'm good.
They wouldn't do it.
He'll say, yeah, then, hey, Bron, what you think? Nigga, stop.
Which is crazy. But how are you gonna make money doing that? Well, there's a platform called The Next Chapter who would host Beasley against Lance Stevenson one-on-one for $100,000. Only problem is promoting it so enough people watch, but turns out Michael Beasley is quite the trash talker, and it gets kind of crazy.
Make sure you get a bigger shirt, because I'm gonna be in there.
I ain't wearing no shirt.
Cool. Better. Get to them nipples. I'm gonna make you dance, Lance. We gonna get straight to it. I'm gonna bring my dancing shoes. I'm gonna tap all over that court. I ain't heard this shaking.
No.
Okay then, so the two faced off, but Beasley straight demolished Lance Stevenson. I'm talking 31-21, and it wasn't even that close. So after that, Bees has called out Joe Johnson recently, Carmelo Anthony, but whatever happens, Michael Beasley has his respect back, and he found a way to live on the court after the NBA on his own terms. But there's another player around that era who is still in the league despite having trouble. Andre Drummond went from the face of a franchise to riding the bench, but he doesn't care. In fact, he's actually happy that his career went this way, because now Drummond gets to teach other young kids how to not make the same mistake he did.